Hi guys, we're going to be talking about India ink. Our objectives are demonstrate knowledge of the use of India ink as an art medium, develop skill in creating different values and line qualities in India ink. Our words worth knowing is India ink. India ink is a permanent, opaque black ink that's used in drawing, painting, and calligraphy. It's made from ash with a binder such as water, liquid, or glue. So India ink is also known as Chinese ink, and it was first invented in China dating back to 3000 BCE. And if you end up studying any type of Asian art in college, you'll learn all about the different types of ink painting. It was also very popular in Japan, and then the subject matter is usually these beautiful vertical landscapes. Historically, it comes from one of the oldest and most durable pigments, which is carbon black. So the characteristics are that it's very permanent, it's opaque, which means you cannot see through it. It produces strong, crisp black lines and flowing monochromatic washes. So the techniques that you use are using water to dilute to create the values and washes. You're going to use varied brushes and pens to create crisp lines. And then you need to be patient and allow it to dry to create layers of values. So your supplies that you're going to need to get is a tray or a palette, a water cup, varied brushes, a pen, a nib, and toothpicks. So the nib is the point on the pen. Paper towels, of course, watercolor or Bristol paper, and then scrap paper. And you also might want to use some painter's tape depending on what you're working on. So just a bit about brushes before we move on. A brush consists of 3 parts. The ferrule or the tuft, which is the bundle of animal hairs or synthetic fibers tied to the base. The ferrule is the metal sleeve that surrounds the tuft to protect the tuft and handle from water. So this is why it's very important to not just let your brushes sit in water, because it's going to break up the binding and the glue that holds the tuft in the ferrule. And then last is the handle. So watercolor brushes are usually shorter than other types of brushes, and they will also have a number on there that will tell you what the size of the brush is. So they also have a variety of different shape tufts, from flat to round to detail to fan, and they're created in all different types of sizes. So as you go along, you need to recognize that the angle you're holding your brush and the amount of pressure towards the paper is going to create different lines of thickness and shape. So depending on the shape of the tuft and how you're using it, you're going to be able to create different types of marks. And then finally, dip pens. Artist dip pens are a writing tool used for calligraphy, illustration, comics, and drawing. They can be used in manga comics. A lot of calligraphy will have different types of nibs. So it's just what the shape of the pen is, essentially. So it's used to create different types of lines and line weights. And then to use these, you just simply dip the pen in the ink, and then as it runs out, you can continue to dip the pen in the ink. So when you're cleaning up, you want to rinse your brushes and palette until clean. You're going to leave your brushes on the towel next to the sink to dry. Leave any rinsed palettes and water cups on the shelf to dry, and then any leftover ink cups that are pure ink, just give back to me. Please do not put any water in those cups, because I like to reuse the ink for the next class. And then your practice work. You're going to do a little technique sampler. You're going to do a 5-step value scale. You're going to do a variety of different types of washes, so wet on wet, a regular wash, gradated wash, dry on dry. I want you to practice making varied lines from thick to thin. And then as you're creating all of these different values, I want you to practice allowing it to dry and then to do a wash over the top, especially for things like the gradated wash and the wet on wet possibly, and then just doing brush lines and just seeing how that looks and how to create those different values. And last, I also want you to create that little shaded sphere at the end. And then there will be a demo video for how to do this. Alright, so then once you're done with your practice, I would like you to check with me when you're finished. So if you need any help, I can help you. And I can't wait to see what you do. Good job.